Welcome back. We've learned about singly and doubly linked lists. So let's talk about when you should use one over the other. Let's start with the singly linked list. The pro of a singly linked list is that it's a fairly simple implementation, especially compared to the doubly one. It requires lesser memory, as we can see here, less block. And because there's less memory when we do things like delete and insert, because there is technically less operation, we don't have to move around the previous property, it's a little bit faster. Now, the downside with a singly linked list is that it cannot be iterated in reverse or traverse from back to front. If we ever lose the reference to this .head node of the list can actually be lost in memory forever. So singly list is appropriate to use when you have less memory or memory is really expensive and you want to be careful of how much you use. And your main goal is that you want to do fast insertion and deletion. And you don't really have that much searching, especially when you have insertion at the beginning of a list. A doubly linked list, well, the good side of it is that it can be iterated or traversed both from the front or from the back. Another beauty is that if you need to delete a previous node, you don't need to traverse from the head node and find what the previous node is, which a singly linked list has no concept of. You can do that fairly easily with a doubly linked list. Now, the downside is that it is fairly complex, as we saw, to implement, and it requires more memory and storage because of this extra property. And there are some extra operations that we need to perform to make sure that when we do insert and delete, that the previous property is updated as well. So doubly linked lists are really good when you don't have that much limitation on memory, and when you want good operation for searching for elements, such as searching backwards instead of just forwards. Most of the time in interview situations, you're going to see singly linked list. You may be asked a theoretical or broad question about the difference between singly and doubly linked list, but most of the time, this is what you're going to see. All right, I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.